You ever been so tired that your bones feel like they're humming? That was me, clocking out of job number 3 at 2:11 a.m., shoes soaked, shirt clinging to my back like a desperate ex. I worked maintenance at the university gym, scrubbing floors and re-racking weights like I was one missed paycheck away from collapsing in a squat rack. Which, to be fair, I was. 3 jobs. No days off. Also, she could focus on her studies. She had dreams, she said. And I, her self-proclaimed support system with abs, was her ticket to those dreams. Call me an emotional Uber. You ever try holding up someone else's future on your shoulders while yours is disintegrating like a cookie in hot coffee? It builds character. Or calluses. Maybe both. Her name was Emma. Full ride to study psychology, emphasis on behavior. I didn't know that behavior meant practicing manipulation on the one guy who showed up every day like clockwork, with takeout in hand and a back cracked from overtime. The night we met, she said I looked like a Greek statue with a tax return. I laughed. She laughed. I thought that meant something. I found it funny how people at the university called her brilliant for writing 20-page essays on the dynamics of power and affection, while I was out there living it. Living it, and apparently missing the punchline. Our apartment was small, one of those downtown places with exposed brick and ambition in the walls. She decorated it like a Pinterest board had exploded. Fairy lights, motivational quotes, a candle for every emotion. You know what wasn't in there? My opinion. But I didn't care. Not at first. I thought, she's gonna be someone. I figured I could be the background music to her rise. I just didn't expect to be the commercial break she fast-forwarded through. Looking back, there were signs. The way she always smiled a little too hard when I said, we. The way she said, thank you, like I was a stranger who handed her luggage at the airport. Like I was temporary. But you don't see it while you're in it. Not when you're exhausted and in love. Love makes you dumb. Tired love makes you a fool. That's how the foundation cracked. I didn't know then that behind the textbooks, behind the late-night study groups, and the weekends she said she just needed to recharge, there was a whole different narrative being told, a narrative where I wasn't the hero. I was a placeholder. I just hadn't heard it in her voice yet. If there was a Mount Rushmore of red flags, I could carve hers from memory. Like how study sessions always started at 7 p.m. and ended at 3 a.m., with no notes, no books, and no explanation other than we were deep into a case study. Must have been one hell of a chapter. But I played along. Because I loved her? Maybe. Or maybe I just didn't want to start from scratch with someone new. When you've poured years into a person, it feels wasteful to ask for the receipt. I brought her snacks during cram weeks. Made coffee runs at midnight. One time, I left a note on her laptop. Ace that exam today, champ. I believe in you. Found it in the trash 2 days later, wedged between an empty Red Bull and a crumpled receipt for Thai takeout that I definitely didn't buy. We were living in the same space, but she was somewhere else entirely. Like sharing an apartment with a ghost that texts occasionally and smells like overpriced perfume. She stopped looking me in the eyes during breakfast. I stopped asking her how her day was. Small talk turned into no talk. And the silence? It was loud. It had weight. Like it knew something I didn't. Her phone became her second boyfriend, always on, always guarded. Locked tighter than Fort Knox and never left unattended. She used to hand it to me and say, "Can you play that song I like?" Now, I couldn't even glance at it without her tensing up like I was about to detonate a bomb. And still, I stayed. Why? Because every now and then, she'd flash that old smile. The one she used back when we were 2 broke kids with a dream and a futon. The smile that said, you and me against the world. And like an idiot, I believed it. But that smile was a mask. And the mask was slipping. I didn't know the exact moment she decided I was no longer part of her endgame. But I was about to find out. The truth wasn't in her eyes. It was in her voicemail that I wasn't snooping. Let's get that clear. I was cleaning. We had a routine. I cleaned, she studied, and we both pretended that love didn't feel like an unpaid internship. She'd left her phone on the couch, face down, screen dark. And then it buzzed. Now, I'm no saint. But I'm also not the kind of guy who reads through private messages. Still, when your partner's phone starts ringing off the hook at midnight and she's not home, again, you look. And that's when I saw it. Missed call. Voicemail left. Name, Jules Nail Polish. Now, I don't know what the emoji meant, but I knew Jules. Emma's best friend. The vault of secrets. The human do not disturb sign who once said to my face, "You're too good for her." I'd laughed. Apparently, she wasn't joking. I played the voicemail. And then I stopped breathing. Girl, I don't even know why you're stressing. I mean, you said it yourself. I'm with him for now. He's got a good body, he provides. You'll be out of there after graduation anyway. It's not like you're married. Just write it out. No music. No laughter in the background. Just Emma's voice, casual and cold, like she was describing a gym membership she planned to cancel in June. I stood there holding her phone like it was radioactive. It wasn't just what she said, it was how she said it. I'm with him for now. Like I was a temporary bus stop on the road to her real life. He provides. Not, he loves me. Not, he's my partner. Just, he provides. And I did. Rent. Groceries. Her Spotify subscription. I even picked up her cap and gown when she forgot to order it. And the thing that hit hardest? I wasn't even angry. Not at first. I was still. Like the part of me that cared had hurt enough. I didn't confront her that night. Didn't scream. Didn't flip tables like some scene from a soap opera. No, I did something much colder. I started planning. Because the difference between heartbreak and strategy is patience. I slept like a baby that night. Not because I was at peace, but because something inside me had finally shut off. The part of me that worried, hoped, clung. It was like flipping a breaker in a burning house. You don't save the drapes when the roof is collapsing. When she got home, around 1:45 a.m., she smelled like someone else's cologne and confidence. She kissed my cheek. I didn't flinch. Just smiled, turned over in bed, and whispered, "Glad you're safe." I wasn't being kind. I was gathering evidence. Over the next few weeks, I became a ghost with a clipboard. I cooked, cleaned, smiled, nodded at her fake stories, and asked polite questions like I was interviewing a witness, not a partner. I kept receipts, literally and figuratively. Every meal I paid for. Every Uber ride she forgot to Venmo me for. The textbook rentals. The late-night grocery runs for her study snacks, which apparently doubled as foreplay for whoever was keeping her warm while I was at job number 2. I knew Jules wasn't stupid enough to leave another voicemail, but I didn't need more. That one voice message had been the thesis statement of our relationship. He's convenient. That's all. She was right about one thing. I provided. But what she didn't know was that I was done providing peace. Her graduation was 2 months away. I marked the date on my calendar like a man circling his own parole hearing. I was counting down to freedom, not celebration. And every day leading up to it, I prepared. I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to cry. I was going to perform. I ordered a fake diploma online. Real university crest, real parchment paper. Just slightly off. Like her loyalty. I designed it myself. Took her full name, centered it beneath a golden seal, and then added my final touch. This is your end. This is my beginning. Right under where a normal diploma would say Bachelor of Arts. I also boxed up every gift I ever gave her. The necklace I bought on our first anniversary. The smartwatch she used to ghost me in real time. The hoodie she always wore, the one that smelled like me until it didn't. I folded them neatly, placed them in a designer shoebox she once begged me for, and tied it shut with the same ribbon she'd used to wrap my Christmas gift last year. Recycling, emotionally and otherwise. On the outside, I was the same guy. She never noticed that I didn't say, "I love you" anymore. Never flinched when I started sleeping closer to the edge of the bed. If anything, she seemed relieved, like she thought I was fading on my own, making her exit easier. I let her believe that. Because some exits are better when the lights are still on. Graduation day arrived on a breezy Sunday in June. Her robe was wrinkled because she refused to iron it and said it gave her authenticity. I said nothing. Just handed her the box I'd wrapped in gold foil. A little something for after the ceremony, I said with a grin so calm it scared me. The auditorium was packed. Parents crying. Grads cheering. Professors squinting at names they could barely pronounce. Emma walked across the stage like it was her coronation. That same confident walk she used when she thought the world owed her something. But the world doesn't owe anyone. Especially not me. When the ceremony ended, I found her near the campus fountain where every student took their last "look, I made it" photo. She ran up to me, all smiles. "We did it," she said, already pulling out her phone for a selfie. I handed her the box. She blinked. "What's this?" "Open it," I said, stepping back. She peeled the ribbon, unwrapped the gold paper, and lifted the lid. Inside, the diploma. The message. The carefully folded past. On top of everything else, the voicemail, transcribed and printed, rested like a cherry on top of a garbage sundae. Her eyes scanned the note. "I'm with him for now. He's got a good body, he provides." And under it, "This is your end. This is my beginning. Her smile cracked. Then her voice. What is this? I shrugged. A gift. Something to remember me by, while I go live a life where I'm not just. For now, people had started to look. Her friends circled in, but I didn't care. I'd been invisible long enough. A little attention wouldn't kill me. She stammered. So what? You're breaking up with me here? I looked around. What better place than the finish line? She started to say something else, some shallow justification, some flimsy apology stapled together with denial. But I'd already turned. Already walking away, toward a horizon where my name wasn't just a placeholder. I didn't turn around when she called my name. I didn't need to. I wasn't hers anymore. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. I don't know about that. Personally, I like mine medium rare, seasoned with strategy, and served on the same table where they once sat, feet up, sipping from your glass like they paid for the wine. After graduation day, I didn't block her. I didn't scream. I just vanished. No note. No fight. No drama. I moved out while she was at her graduation party. One of those rooftop bar affairs where people take pictures with people they don't even like, just to prove they were smiling when their lives still had momentum. While she was busy clinking glasses with people who didn't know the voicemail version of her, I was boxing up my life and walking out of hers. Everything I owned fit into the back of a 2009 Honda Civic and the trunk of a borrowed U-Haul trailer. It was poetic. She took up so much space in my heart, and yet her absence made the room feel bigger. I changed my number, closed my accounts, even left the joint Spotify playlist. We both knew she wasn't listening to it anymore. But I wasn't gone. Not really. I went quiet, sure. But silence is just patience wearing its best suit. See, Emma thought I'd disappear quietly, lick my wounds, maybe get into yoga, and write a self-help blog. That's what nice guys do after betrayal, right? Wrong. I was never just nice. I was focused. And now I was focused on something else entirely. Turns out when you work 3 jobs, you meet people. A guy from job number 1 worked in IT, hated his boss, loved secrets. Guy from job number 2 did security, real night owl type, used to hack vending machines for fun in college. And at job number 3, my old gym gig, let's just say the janitor knows a lot more than people think. I didn't ask them to do anything illegal. I just asked them what they could do. Turns out, quite a bit. Emma had spent the last year telling people I was just a phase. I decided to return the favor by erasing the illusion she'd built for herself. Piece by piece, I started with the little things. The job application she'd submitted for the prestigious internship disappeared from their system. The professional email she used for her freelance work forwarded copies to an anonymous inbox. Her prized iPad, let's just say when you log in with the wrong credentials 3 times, certain apps start whispering secrets. And then there was her laptop, the one she left logged into Google Drive. Bless her heart. She never logged out. I didn't have to go looking for dirt. She stored it all in neat folders labeled personal, grad stuff, and my personal favorite, life plan. It was like reading her diary, except the pages were spreadsheets, calendars, and voice memos. There was even a file titled Exit Strategy. Inside it, notes on how to transition out of our relationship, mapped out like a corporate merger. She'd even written mock texts to send me, each more sterile than the last. My favorite read. Hey, I've been thinking a lot about my future. I really appreciate everything you've done, but I think we want different things. I'll always care about you. I just need to grow. Yeah? Grow on your own dime, sweetheart. I didn't expose her. Not yet. No screenshots. No big reveals. That's amateur hour. I wasn't after embarrassment. I was after erosion. While she posted carefully curated selfies with captions like, manifesting the next chapter dizzy, I was writing the epilogue. I knew where she'd be. Her part-time barista gig hadn't ended yet. She was planning to work a bit before her big internship started. Explore options. That meant 4-hour shifts serving oat milk lattes to people who tipped 20% and still asked if the Wi-Fi was fast. I walked in on a Tuesday. She saw me before I saw her. Froze for just a second before putting on the fake customer service smile. Hi. Welcome to Brewhouse. What can I get you? I leaned in. A refund. Her eyes twitched. Excuse me. I smiled. For the years. I kept the receipts. Then I walked out. Didn't order. Didn't look back. I wasn't there for coffee. I was there to remind her I existed. That I wasn't broken. And that I wasn't done. That night, the real plan began. I launched a website. Just a simple landing page, built under a pseudonym. No names. No pictures. Just a quote. He was temporary. He had a good body. He provided. Below that, a slow-dripping blog. Anonymous entries, written like short stories. Parables of betrayal. Each one echoing a little too closely to Emma's real life. Fiction, of course. All fiction. But art has a funny way of getting under people's skin. Within a week, the blog had over 10,000 views. People shared it, quoted it, speculated. Every woman who'd said something similar to a guy now saw herself in those lines. Every man who'd been used for rent money saw himself too. Emma saw it. Oh, she saw it. I know because Jules, bless her nosy heart, posted a cryptic tweet. Crazy how some people can't move on unless they drag you with them. To which a reply said, at least he didn't call you temporary. The internet never forgets. But me? I was just getting started. By week 3, her curated life was leaking. The anonymous blog had gone semi-viral, shared on forums, Twitter threads, and a particularly brutal subreddit called r/narcissist nukes. One post was titled, "She said I was temporary, now she's permanently unemployed." People thought it was satire. Others thought it was art. Emma knew it was neither. Her texts started coming in hot, from a new number. Hey, I know this is you. What do you want? You're being cruel. Please stop. This could hurt my job search. I read them the same way you'd read a weather forecast in a city you just moved out of. Not my storm anymore. She posted an Instagram story with a black background and white text. Some people just can't let go. I replied on the blog. Some people don't realize what they've thrown away until it's repackaged and thriving. She deleted her story within the hour. The next phase was psychological. Not threats. Not exposure. Just reminders. I mailed her the empty box from our shared Amazon Prime account. No sender listed. Inside, her graduation tassel and a copy of her resume, with red pen marks and the word temporary circled at the top. I left a sticky note on it. You said it. I believed it. Now the world does too. She blocked 5 numbers that week. None of them were mine. Because I wasn't calling. I was watching. Her internship rescinded their offer. I didn't have to lift a finger. The blog had made its way to their HR department, thanks to an anonymous, concerned citizen email chain full of screenshots and timestamp comparisons. All public, all fiction. That's the thing about stories. If enough people see themselves in them, they become truth. She posted a tearful TikTok about cancel culture, about how a personal misunderstanding was destroying her life. The comments section was a bloodbath. Top comment: maybe don't treat people like temp jobs, and you won't get fired from life. Emma left the city, moved in with her sister in the suburbs, quiet neighborhood, nothing within walking distance but regret and overpriced yoga. I only knew because Jules posted a girls' weekend selfie and tagged the location. You'd think a psychology major would understand how digital footprints work. She went dark after that. Deleted Twitter. Nuked her Facebook. Instagram went private. But you can't scrub memory. She'd made herself a villain in someone else's origin story, and now she had to live with the fact that strangers were rooting for her ex more than they ever rooted for her. The final straw? I published the last entry of the blog. Not bitter. Not angry. Just final. It ended with a simple note. Some chapters don't end in heartbreak. Some end in awakening. You taught me what not to be. Thank you. Goodbye, Emma. By then, I'd moved on. Not just romantically, existentially. I'd taken a job with fewer hours and more peace. Started reading again. Hit the gym, not to distract myself, but because I liked who I saw in the mirror now. Not the guy begging for crumbs of attention, but the man who walked away from a burning building with a lighter in his hand and not a single burn on his skin. People always think revenge is some firestorm, that it scorches the earth. But it's cleaner than that. Sharper. Like cold steel and velvet. I didn't want her ruined. I wanted her to live in a world where I was no longer invisible, and she could never undo what she'd done. That's the cruelest part of the truth. You don't erase it. You live with it. I ran into Jules 6 months later. Whole Foods parking lot. She looked at me like she'd seen a ghost, or a warning. She said, "She's not doing well." I said, "She never was." She didn't ask what I meant. I didn't explain. Because this isn't about Emma anymore. It's about me. The man who worked 3 jobs and got called a placeholder. The man who gave and gave and gave until he realized no one claps for a foundation. They just build on top of it, then complain when the walls crack. Emma wanted a provider? Good. I provided a lesson. She got her degree. And I got my freedom. And that, my friend, was the real graduation.